Afternoon, good night. How you doing? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Today we are going to have a serious conversation. Well, maybe not a serious conversation, but there's going to be a serious talk happening here. Now, of course, I'm only doing the talking, but just stay tuned. Hey y'all, what's up? This is MCM and you are listening to You're Probably Right. We're into season 9. Now, it hasn't been 9 years. It's actually been 4, possibly you could say 5. As a matter of fact, some of my earlier episodes were actually done, I would say 4 years before actually the start of You're Probably Right. And they're just kind of laid the groundwork for what You're Probably Right has become. So in all of my ramblings, my humming and hawing over different topics, answering different questions, talking about different concepts, talking about my personal life, talking about my upbringing, education, jobs, relationships, and all kinds of stuff just jammed in, along with sports and maybe certain athletes and just certain like mind frames and life frames and just frames in general, concepts and situations and problems and triumphs and life and deaths and all kinds of different aspects of my life, my life's learning, my life's experiences and stuff like that. I've finally come to season 9. And with that, I have actually developed a concept that, as far as I know, hasn't been dealt with by anybody else, as far as I know. Not in whole, but at least in part. And I think once you listen to this, you'll probably understand what I mean. But I'm going to do my best because I would say I'm more of a writer, conceptually, I guess. But as far as me saying that I am the person you'd like to be reading an audiobook, probably not. And if you're familiar with my podcast, then you probably already know this. I've tried to access 11 labs after using about 5 hours. I'm telling you this because maybe you want to do this in the future. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. I'm sure they're going to get better at it. But what I did was I used 5 hours of my voice and gave it to them. And they've developed a way to read in my voice. It's not perfect and it lacks personality. And I think that's the one thing that I bring to this podcast. So I'm going to do my best to read this essay I've prepared for you. See, I'm not even reading yet. So please, when I might read names, chances are I'm going to read some names wrong, basically, probably even concepts. It's kind of funny, you know, when you talk to somebody and they'll use some word like articulated something or other, and maybe they'll be like, spell it, and then the person can't even spell it. Okay, well, I'm the kind of person who might be able to spell it, might even understand the concept of it, but pronunciation while trying to do a podcast, I'll probably make a few mistakes. But at least you know it's authentic and understand that I'm here and I'm sitting with you, and the time that you're taking to listen to it, I'm taking the same amount of time to actually read it. So understand that it is genuine and it comes from my heart. But please understand that this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. If you really want to get a deep dive into psychology about the various concepts, psychologists that I refer to or speak of or try to explain, then I would suggest more learning at maybe a university level. But be careful of the university you go to. That's all I'm going to say, and that's all I'm going to say. Anyhow, welcome to season 9 of You're Probably Right. Here I go. You ever met someone who just doesn't click? Like, no matter what they talk about, in past, you don't get a vibe, and every conversation feels like work, or maybe it's the opposite. You've known them for 5 minutes, and it feels like you've known them for 5 years. That's not random. That's not magic. It's wiring. We all walk around with a personal operating system. Some of us, well, some of it is how we think, some of it is how we attach, some of it is how we show up in social spaces, and some of it is how we care or pretend not to. That's why I've created this, the CASA personality framework. CASA, CASA stands for cognitive, attachment, social, and agreeableness. Four dimensions that, when combined, give you 48 different personality types. It's not about putting people in boxes, it's about unlocking their patterns, how they process, how they connect, how they show up, and how they love or protect themselves from it. Whether you're trying to figure out why you keep dating the same type of person, why you blow up in certain situations, or why someone in your life constantly misreads you, this framework gives you language and, of course, clarity. Let's break it down. How was that, guys? Okay. The CASA personality framework, standing for cognitive, attachment, social, and agreeableness, is a comprehensive model for understanding human behavior and relationships through four essential dimensions. This integrated approach enables deeper insight into why individuals act, think, and relate in distinctive ways, providing clarity in personal growth, relationship, compatibility, and emotional well being. So, now before I get into just reading the rest of it, I want to still kind of get you a little bit more. And you understand that there's 9 seasons now of You're Probably Right. And 226, I think, episodes of You're Probably Right. And most episodes are probably between 30 minutes and an hour. In most cases, probably around 40. Um, Here's the thing. I there's just certain things that I've been like looking into over while doing this podcast, while just living my life, while experiencing deaths in my family, breakups of relationships, um, different situations, struggles, triumphs in my personal life. And there were certain ways, these ways, of course, that I've been looking at, maybe bumps in the road type things, blockages, doors that have opened, doors that have closed, um, and just different concepts, different thinking. Like, I mean, I guess when you get to a point in your life where you just start to pay attention to certain concepts and you maybe not necessarily govern your life according to those concepts, but you find a few that help you to navigate life a little bit better than maybe some other ones, right? Like this isn't totally the big five. This isn't totally Myers Briggs. This isn't totally about attachment or the different various things that psychologists over years and years and years of research and, with clients and the different things. These were things that I guess rang true to me when I looked at them closely and when I looked at my life and tried to maybe weigh the different situations I've gotten into, or maybe people I know have gotten into. Um, and I think they've just helped. So that's the reason why I've developed this whole concept. And hopefully it's going to, hopefully this framework will help someone. um, I know it's helped me to a certain extent already, so I just want to kind of bring it out, and hopefully it'll serve as something that maybe a tool that you can use in life to maybe maybe find that match for you, maybe figure out why things aren't working out, figure out ways to help a situation that you're already in and you don't want to let it go, and you want to just work on it and make it better. So let's go. Okay, so let me get back to this reading. I'm going to start this right from the top. Okay, hopefully that doesn't um, bother you. I can already see a word I'm going to stumble on already. Let's just go right from the top here. Okay, so the CASA Personality Framework, standing for Cognitive Attachment, Social, and Agreeableness, is a comprehensive model for understanding human behavior, relationships through four essential dimensions. This integrated approach enables deeper insight into why individuals act, think, and relate in distinctive ways, providing clarity in personal growth, relationships, compatibility, and emotional well being. See, I read it better that time. Okay. Historically, the roots of each CASA dimension trace back to seminal psychology theories and notable psychologists. Let me fix this microphone. The cognitive dimensions emerges primarily from cognitive psychology. Notable champions by figures like Jean Piaget and Howard Gardner. Piaget laid foundational insights into cognitive development, outlining how individuals construct understanding through experiences. Gardner expanded the cognitive perspective with his theory of multiple intelligences, emphasizing that people process and express understanding uniquely, visually, verbally, kinesthetically, among others. Ooh, I got that right. Okay, so first, anyways, attachment. The second dimension originates in attachment theory, introduced by John Bowlby, and further developed by Mary Ainsworth. Bowlby, Bowlby, I don't know. Bowlby articulated the fundamental human need to form emotional bond for survival and development, highlighting how early attachment shapes lifelong relationship or relational patterns. Ainsworth's strange situation experiment underscored variations in attachment: secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized, demonstrating how these styles profoundly influence personal and relational dynamics throughout life. So basically, when you're young, and it basically extrapolates through your whole life. So, when people talk about your formative years, they're very important. Very, very, very important. Next, social orientation, encompassing introversion and extroversion, is deeply rooted in Carl Jung's analytical psychology. Psychology. Jung differentiated individuals based on their energy orientation, introverts finding energy in solitude, extroverts drawing strength from social interactions. This distinction profoundly shapes social behaviors, relationship preferences, and emotional recharge strategies. Jung typology later became the foundation for many contemporary personality frameworks, including the wildly recognized Myers-Briggs type indicators. The final dimension is agreeableness, originates with trait psychology, specifically from the Big Five personality trait model, developed by psychologists such as Paul Costa and Robert McCrae. Agreeableness refers to the spectrum of interpersonal behaviors from cooperative, empathetic, and compassionate high agreeableness to critical, skeptical, and assertive low agreeableness. This this trait directly influences relational harmony, conflict resolution, and emotional expression. Oh, I kind of fumbled through that. I think I was rushing it, guys. I'm sorry. In recent psychology and popular culture, several prominent figures have championed these ideas. Dr. Jordan Peterson has notably emphasized the big five traits, especially agreeableness, in both clinical psychology and popular discourse, highlighting its profound implications for relationship dynamics, negotiation, and personal success. Similarly, Dr. Sue Johnson has revitalized attachment theory through her emotionally focused therapy, EFT, demonstrating how understanding attachment styles can repair and deepen relational bonds. In cognitive psychology, Dr. Daniel Kahneman has illuminated how cognitive processes affect decision making, further popularizing cognitive style awareness. I'm sorry. Breaking down the CASA model clearly, the cognitive dimensions address how individuals uniquely process information and solve problems, whether verbally, language oriented, visually, image based, or kinesthetically, movement and sensory based. This aspect fundamentally shapes communication preferences, learning styles, and emotional expression. The attachment dimension describes emotional bonding and relational patterns. Secure individuals comfortably balance intimacy and independence. Anxious individuals desire closeness yet fear rejection. Avoidant individuals prize independence, often distancing emotionally. Disorganized individuals experience conflicting desire, oscillating between seeking and fearing intimacy. Understanding this dimension fosters insights into emotional needs and relationship patterns. Social orientation, distinguishing introverts from extroverts, indicates how people interact socially, recharge emotionally, and prefer to engage in relationships. Introverts thrive on deep, meaningful interactions and solitude, while extroverts flourish in vibrant social environments and seek external stimulation. This dimension clarifies lifestyles, compatibility, and social dynamics. Finally, agreeableness defines interpersonal style, how empathetic, cooperative, compassionate, and individual type typical behaves an individual typically behaves versus how assertive, independent, or skeptical they might be. Agreeableness directly influences conflict resolution, relational harmony, trust, and emotional communication within all interactions. So we have CASA. So CASA's summary, just a quick view, guys. C, cognitive style, verbal, visual, or kinesthetic. A, attachment style, secure, anxious, avoidant, disorganized. S, social organization, introvert or extrovert. Agreeableness, that's A. Agreeableness or disagreeable. Anyhow, at the end of the day, there's a total combinations of 48 possible CASA types. And hopefully over this season, I'll be talking about them a little bit. So anyhow, real life examples help illustrate the practical relevance of the CASA framework. For instance, a secure introverted verbal and agreeable individual may thrive in deep, meaningful conversations in small social settings and handle conflicts with empathy and clear communication. Conversely, an avoidant, extroverted, kinesthetic, and disagreeable individual might struggle with emotional closeness, prefer energetic, dynamic interactions, and face challenges with conflict resolutions due to bluntness. In a workplace setting, a secure, extroverted, visual, and agreeable employee may be the glue of the team, bringing ideas to life in meetings while keeping harmony intact. A disorganized, introverted, verbal, and disagreeable manager might struggle with team cohesion, preferring isolated control and becoming overwhelmed by unpredictable emotional dynamics. In parenting, an anxious, introverted, kinesthetic, and agreeable parent may over worry about the child's well being and try to physically comfort them through hugs or constant presence while struggling to give space for independence. Understanding these patterns can improve self regulation and help parents grow. All right, compatibility. Insights highlight how certain CASA types naturally complement or clash. Secure and anxious attachment types can find balance together provided there clear provided there's clear communication. While pairing two disagreeable personalities may result in frequent conflicts unless mutual respect and understanding is established. An extrovert and an introvert can work well together when they recognize and respect each other's recharge needs. Likewise, a verbal thinker may clash with a visual one unless they learn how to translate their ideas into each other's preferred modes. For self assessment, individuals are encouraged to reflect on their patterns of thinking, social preference, emotional reactions in relationships, and conflict styles. Questions such as: do I recharge more with people or alone? Or do I quickly express myself verbally or prefer visual? Demonstrations can guide listeners to discover the CASA types. You don't need to be boxed in. CASA is more about patterns than labels. It's essential to acknowledge that while the CASA model provides valuable insight of human behavior remains complex at the end of the day. Influenced by life experience, cultural backgrounds, and situational context. Therefore, the CASA framework should serve as a guiding tool only, rather than a definitive classification. Practically, applying CASA insights can significantly enhance personal growth, relationship management, career interaction, and parenting strategies. Recognizing one's CASA type allows individuals to communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts constructively, and foster deeper, more meaningful connections. Collectively, the CASA personality framework offers a nuanced yet accessible method for understanding oneself and others. It provides valuable tools for enhancing emotional intelligence, relationship health, and personal growth, blending historical psychology wisdom with contemporary applications. As individuals grasp their CASA types, they unlock profound insights into their emotional lives and relational dynamics, ultimately fostering deep connections and more fulfilling lives. Anyways, here's my final thoughts on the matter. The CASA framework isn't about boxing people in, as I said. It's about giving you the language and structure to finally understand why you love the way you do, why you clash with some and click with others, and how to navigate relationships with clarity. When you know how someone thinks, bonds, engages socially, and expresses empathy or doesn't, you're not guessing anymore. You're relating with intention, and that changes everything. All right, y'all. So that wasn't that bad. I kind of flew through that a little bit, but I'm hoping that you understand basically where I'm coming from with this whole CASA thing. So hopefully you can say to one day you can hopefully say to your friend, "Hey, oh man, what's your CASA personality framework?" And they'll be able to bring it out for you. I guess, again, it has the Myers-Briggs in there, the big five in there, the attachment style, how open or well, how agreeable or disagreeable you are. And, it kind of all mixes it up. Anyway, when we came down to it, there was 48 different types. And we're going to go from there. So this is going to be a short one. Hopefully you understand exactly how the framework works, and maybe listen again if you got confused because of my bad my bad reading. And I will hopefully I'm going to see if I can squeeze all of this into this exact small little essay into the description of this podcast, if it'll allow me. I don't know if it'll accept all of it, but I'm going to do my best. And that's why it's kind of condensed and jam-packed, just for you to get a basic understanding of it. All right. Anyhow, I am MCM, and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Take care, and see you next time. Take care. Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere.